I've taken the GRE a fair few times now, and I feel like I probably have some wisdom that I can impart to the next generation. So without further ado, here you have it. With the GREs, it's not really about how much you know, it's about how well you know the test. The test has to become so integrated into your brain that you can know the answer to practically any question just by looking at it. So the trick is that when you study, you have to make sure that you're not just learning the material, you're learning the test. But how do you learn a test? You're paying $200 to take this test. It is absolutely worth your while to shell out a few more dollars for some review books. And if you buy them used online, they're super cheap. If you really don't have the money to spend, find some in your local library. There are tons of review books out there, links in the description. If you're going to learn this test, you need to get as much practice as you possibly can. This test is over 4 hours long. You're going to need to develop stamina so that after 3.5 hours, you're still super pumped to take another math section. Yeah, it's a pain to have to sit there for 4 hours every time you want to take a practice test, but make time for it as much as you can. At the very least, do a couple hours worth of questions at a time. In most countries, you're taking this test on a computer. So you need to practice on a computer to get used to how that's going to work. Most of the prep books have the option to take some or all of their tests online. And even if you're practicing with a paper-based test, make sure that you're using a calculator from one of your computer practice tests. Some practice books are better than others, so plan accordingly. Companies like Kaplan and Barron's don't actually get access to test questions, so the best they can do is have an army of test takers whose job it is to take the GRE over and over again and report back on what type of questions there were. Then they come up with similar questions. These companies are very good at it, but some are better than others, so you have to plan accordingly. You're going to want to ration your practice tests so that you don't waste all of the good ones at once. From my experience, Kaplan, Princeton, and Manhattan Prep have the most accurate test questions in that order. So space them out for your studying time. The ETS only has 2 computer-based tests, but the good news is that they're free. I'd say take one of them right at the beginning to see how you're doing, and then take the other one right before you take the test to see how far you've come. Hopefully you do better on the second test. You will do better on the second test. Yep, definitely. Half this test is confidence. If you get flustered, you're going to waste time panicking and you're not going to do as well. We've all been there. Do whatever it takes to get comfortable with the idea of the test. Read the ETS's advice even. It'll help put you to sleep at least. Test day! Bring a bottle of water, some energy bars, and your ID. That's it. Literally. Don't even bother bringing your cell phone if you can avoid it. You're going to be putting it in your locker. And when you access your locker during the break, you don't want them to be able to accuse you of using your cell phone and cheating. It's not worth the headache. Just don't bother. It's safer this way. During your break, have a little bit of water, but not too much because you don't want to have to go to the bathroom during the test. You can eat as many energy bars as you want, though. The test center has a lot of very weird rules, and some of them aren't exactly the same as the ETS's rules, so it's helpful to be warned about them beforehand. So first of all, no watches. The ETS website says that you can bring analog watches, but the test center won't actually allow them, so don't bother. The section time is shown on your computer screen anyway. Metal detector. They will run a metal wand over you every time you enter the testing room. Also, pretend you're in line to get on an airplane and don't make any jokes about bombs or your super secret metal cheating device. Next, pockets. Try not to wear anything with pockets because they make you run your fingers through them every time you enter the room. That is super annoying and really just not worth the bother. Last one, sweaters. People will usually tell you that you should dress in layers because what if the room's hot, what if it's cold? But if you walk into the testing room with a sweater on, they actually will not let you take it off. So figure out if you'd rather be hot or cold, dress accordingly, and hope for the best. There you go, 9 tips to help you crack this test. Have any tips that I missed? Leave them in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more study hacking videos every week. You got this.